Welcome aboard to another knot video. Today we have the knot that every boater is supposed to know. It's easier to tie than it is to say the bowline, 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 whatever. For those in a rush to tie a line to something, I'm going to show you how to tie this knot right away. For those that watch for my sparkling personality, I'll explain what makes this such a great knot and my tips to tying it like a pro later on. And for those that like to wear boots and spurs, I'll be tying a sailor's bowline and not a cowboy bowline. More on that later. The first step is to create a small loop. This is the most important part and the easiest step to mess up. The loop has to be in this orientation, with the working end of the line going over itself. You also want this little loop to be far enough away from the end to give yourself room to create the actual loop that you'll attach stuff to later. You see, this first little loop is part of the knot, not the bigger loop you want to attach something to. Once you master this, the rest is easy. The rabbit digs underground however large you want your loop to be, jumps out of the hole, goes around the tree, and back into the hole. Tighten, and bingo, the best knot. Now to untie it, you just pull on this knuckle here until it comes loose and you can untie the knot. That is why it is considered the best, because no matter how tight it is, you can always undo it by leveraging this knuckle. Back in my parasailing days, we would use this knot to drag people in the sky with thousands of pounds of force on it, and it always came untied. Purposefully, at the end of the day, when we wanted it to, never went in use. Which is another reason why this is such a popular knot. The bowline maintains a good portion of the line's breaking strength compared to other knots. 70 to 75% of the strength of the line, coming in only second to the figure 8 follow-through that climbers use. And 75% is a great number. If 75% of you watching this video subscribed, it probably wouldn't change my life all that much. But if you enjoy the video, I would appreciate it. It's free, and if we keep growing, then one day it will change my life, so thank you. Anyways, when the line does break, it typically breaks here, due to the pressure and stress of the bend in the line. Now, for a fun fact and some tips on how to tie the bowline. I mentioned I wasn't wearing cowboy boots today. That's because this bowline has the bitter end tucked inside the loop. Cowboys would tie this knot opposite so that the bitter end is outside of the loop so it doesn't chafe a horse's neck. And as fun as that fact is, I think tips on how to tie the bowline are a lot more fun. You see, I actually never tie the knot the way that I showed you. Instead, I tie it like this, which is great if you don't have any tension on the line. It's difficult and dangerous to tie a bowline if there's stress on the line. So if you do have stress on the line and you tie it this way, you are in danger of losing a finger or a hand. But let me show you how to become a pro. First, by practicing tying yourself up. No, not how you would after hours, how you would if you were being swept down a river. Wrap the line around your body. Then, with the bitter end in one hand, wrap your arm around the line by going over it and then back under. This will create that first loop you need for the knot. Then, feed the bitter end under the line, grab it back with the same hand, and pull your arm back through. Bingo, you have a bowline and a new rope swing. Now once you get the hang of this, you could do it on a smaller, safer scale. Hold the line farther back from the bitter end this time, and perform the same maneuver, except now only have the line pass through the created loop. Slide it under with your fingers and pull it back through. And that's it. You can now tie a bowline. And for staying to the end of the video, I'm going to perform one last party trick for you. We call this one the Steve McQueen. If you ever find yourself on the edge of a cliff or actually in a river, you'll be happy you watched to the end of this video. If you throw the line all the way around yourself twice and take the first loop in front with you on the way to tie your bowline, you will create a harness that doesn't slip or tighten. 2 loops, one for your back and one for your hips to be carried away to safety. So there you have it. 3 ways to tie a bowline. Thanks for watching and smooth sailing.